Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the assignment and do some confidentiality stuff with you. So this interview is going to be shared with an instructor and a peer reviewer, so no one else will see it, just them. Your full name won't be used, and the interview will take less than 30 minutes. Anything you feel uncomfortable with, you don't have to talk about, and if you do get uncomfortable at any time, we can stop, whatever you need. I am only a student, so if there's anything you feel like you need professional help with, I suggest you find someone that you are comfortable with to do that, because I am unable to. So if you could just start by telling me your name and just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Lindsay. I grew up in Chicago and I moved to Tennessee about 7 or 8 years ago. I have a daughter. She will be 4 soon.
Okay.
And actually, one of the reasons that I'm here is because I currently just found out I'm pregnant.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm only 4 weeks.
Okay.
And I've just been feeling a lot of anxiety around that.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of wanted to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, it's very understandable. So when did you find out?
So I think it was around 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, or give or take.
Okay. And how do you feel like knowing this has been affecting your everyday life?
So I've definitely just been noticing that I'm spacing out, and I'm overthinking. I haven't told any of my family yet.
Yeah.
And so just kind of the anxiety around having to do all that is stressing me out. I just notice I'm a little less patient in my everyday life.
Okay.
Just little things like that.
Yeah. So you said that you already have a daughter currently.
I do.
How did your first pregnancy go?
So for an overall, it wasn't horrible. There was definitely concerns. Her father was kind of absent, and so I kind of felt alone during a lot of that pregnancy. And my mom lives all the way in Chicago, and obviously we're in Tennessee, so she was a super big support for that. But she is kind of far away, so that was there when it could be, but for the most part I was just kind of alone, and so I'm kind of scared of that again.
Yeah. What about the father of your current baby?
Yeah, so he's actually my boyfriend, but we don't live together, and so I guess just kind of not seeing him every day, or afraid that I'm not going to have that support like I did the first time. It's just kind of worrying me.
Yeah. So you say your mom lives in Chicago. Do you have any family in Tennessee?
Yeah, so the only one that actually lives here is my dad. All of his family lives here, but I'm not super close with them.
Okay.
My dad lives about 2.5 hours away from where I live. He just was not the happiest about my first pregnancy, and it didn't go over so well. And so just kind of afraid to kind of have that happen again.
Yeah, so the past with dad wasn't the best. You want to make sure, you're kind of worried about that. Okay, so other than family, do you have any friends that you feel like are going to be there for you, like a good support system?
Yeah, so all my friends are super supportive. All of them know. And I know that eventually whenever I do decide to tell my family and everybody else, that they'll be here and super supportive. So there's no concern with that. I definitely feel supported in that.
Awesome. It's really good. Okay. So with the struggles in your first pregnancy, how do you feel like you dealt with them?
So I definitely just pulled back from life and kind of shut down, which is one of my issues. And I don't want that to happen again, just because I kind of do have a daughter already, so that can't really happen. I can't just run away from life. And obviously I want to be more prepared than I was the first time to have a baby. And so I know things that I need to do to kind of get me a step ahead. And so I kind of want to make sure that that happens, and I don't just shut down like I did before, and kind of get in a depressive little ball.
It's good that you are aware of that, and at least are trying not to repeat that. So what about your interests? What do you like to do?
So I really like being outdoors, and I think with the weather coming up, that's super helpful. I love to just get out and go adventure and see new things, and living in Nashville, there's so much to do, so I'm definitely someone that wants to always be on the go. I actually just went to Zany's for the first time.
Nice.
It's a comedy club. Yeah, and that was really fun, so definitely want to go back and do little things like that, just to kind of get me out and keep the light and moving, the energy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's good to find ways to kind of relieve that stress that you're feeling. So how would you describe your personality?
So I would say that I'm super energetic. I can be negative sometimes, but I think I get discouraged super fast. But for the most part, I think that I'm super optimistic, and I try to, be super happy and energetic, and just look at life with like a positive outlook. For the most part, I try.
Yeah, and how do you feel like your personality affects the way that you're dealing with your current issues?
So I think that it's so like 50-50 because I do have that part that I like overthink and I get discouraged. And so I'm like already thinking of like the 100% negative before it's even happened. And especially with like telling my parents, I'm already like in my head, like, oh, they're going to say this, but it hasn't happened yet. But then that other side of me is like, well, like I'm an adult. What are they going to say? And so, I try to stay like optimistic about that, but I definitely go back and forth with it, and it's like a struggle I have.
I think it's very normal to have that worry for sure. I think a lot of parents feel that way. So when you deal with any type of problem, do you have a specific like problem solving method that you usually use? How do you usually like kind of face something that you're going to try to like get past?
Yeah, so I don't think that I kind of deal with every problem the same. I kind of just sit here and like think, and I know that's so kind of like basic or what like the general would do. But hey, what's up?
I want to everybody nacho.
Okay.
Come here, my baby. What's wrong?
But I try to just think of like the pros and cons to every
baby.
situation. Hey, we're doing something. Can you just keep it down?
Wait,
And I try to just kind of go over in my head, like, okay, what is the outcome of this, and what could be like the negative of this, and I kind of just go through every situation. For the most part, it kind of gets scattered sometimes because it's in my head, but I'll just sit here and like genuinely think about every outcome of every situation.
Yeah. Okay. So if you could name a few things that maybe your family or friends or your loved ones, what do you think they would say your strengths are?
My strengths. So I think that I am super caring, and I am reliable, so I can be there when I need to be. I would say that they say I'm like super strong. I've just kind of been through a lot, and have definitely like overcome all of it. So I know that that's going to help me with this situation too. But I would say definitely like strong for the most part.
That's awesome. Yeah. So on the other hand, what would you say maybe some of the areas that you need to grow in are?
So as I like previously mentioned, I think that I get discouraged super fast. And I have like suffered from depression in the past, so I kind of will just shut down. And I definitely want to work on that because that's obviously not the way to deal with life.
Okay.
And then I start to get super angry, agitated, irritated, all those things. And that's not healthy for my daughter or myself. So I definitely want to just try to find a better like outlet to dealing with my problems, so I can just kind of go every day and keep moving and not fall back and take steps back.
Yeah, I think those are really good goals to have. So would you call yourself religious or spiritual in any way?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely religious, but I have a little bit of spirituality too in me, so.
Do you think that's helping you right now with what you're going through?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been praying a lot and just, like asking God for like the answers to all of this and helping me calm down. And then on that spiritual side, like I want to learn how to meditate because I've just heard that like really helps with stress and calming you down. And so I definitely want to look into that and figure out if that's also like a method to help me doing this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. So currently, like with your financial situation, do you feel secure in that?
Yeah, I think there's always like more that you could be doing, and it is kind of stressful now that I know I'm gonna have 2 kids. But I do make very good money, and I know that there's so much room to grow with the company I'm with, and so that's not an issue, and I feel secure in that for the most part.
That's really good. Okay. Okay, so I'd like us to maybe think about 2 goals for you to start working on and planning on like how you're going to do that. So either, I know you said about like telling your parents, and another thing about kind of like some emotional regulation you want to work on as well. So whatever you would like to do, are there any like just two main goals that you want to kind of focus on right now?
Yeah, so I definitely think telling my parents is one.
Okay.
And then I definitely think trying to work on not getting discouraged so much and just finding a better outlet to like control my anxiety would definitely be a big number 2.
Okay. So with telling your parents, so what scares you the most about telling your parents?
I guess just like the disappointment. You know, like their parents, they have their own opinions. If your life is kind of not like going the way that they planned it to be, there's always some like very strong opinions in there. And I think I have that fear of always like disappointing somebody. And so I don't want that to happen. And so I think that like all kind of ties in where like it starts to give me anxiety. So I think like it's the anxiety behind that from whatever I've already like assumed their answers are going to be.
Okay.
So I would say like the anxiety from that for sure.
Do you know of anything, like, can you think of maybe in the best case scenario, you telling them like what would your like dream be for their response?
So I definitely don't have a problem with them voicing their concerns, and obviously I want to hear those, but I guess just overall them just being supportive and understanding that, you know, I've been able to do it once and I'm here now, and that this is like a blessing, even if it's not the way that they planned it to be, that this is like my life and it's going the way kind of I want it to go, and just them being super supportive and here for me throughout the whole pregnancy and then obviously the birth of my child.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so for your second goal, working towards trying not to be as discouraged and regulating emotions, do you have any like ideas of methods that you plan on like doing to reach that goal and be better with that?
Yeah, so like I said, kind of the meditating, I think that'll help with like not getting discouraged, stress, anxiety, all of that. And then I don't know, I think I just keep wanting to remind myself that, you know, you can only control today and right now and in this moment, and so don't think so far ahead. And I know that like if I just keep myself motivated and keep going, that can probably eliminate me feeling discouraged so much. So maybe just trying to stay on top of everything and, you know, think like I can only control myself and what I'm doing right now, and try to like stay in that mindset and stay focused.
Yeah, that's really good. I feel like that goal, accomplishing that for you will probably help the other one as well. Like if you can work on that, then kind of the anxieties of telling your parents might not be as difficult.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's good that you're thinking about all those things. Really good. So if you could think about like an ideal future for yourself, what would that look like?
So I think that like overall I just kind of want success and to be happy. It's kind of cliche, but you know, I just want to like 100% figure out who I am and what makes me happy. Ever since I had a daughter, I don't really know what makes like just me happy as a person, you know, and you have to think like one day my kids are going to be gone and it's just going to be me. And so I definitely want to just find what I'm interested in and I love to do for myself now, and also like maintaining a family. You know, I just started with a company, I think I previously mentioned, and there's just so much room for growth there. So definitely, you know, putting my like effort into that to see where that can grow, and I can succeed there, and kind of doing that a lot. And then, you know, just I'm gonna have another child, so I just want to stay healthy and like really be on top of stuff, just to make sure like my kids are happy and safe, and that you know, I'm happy, and whoever I end up being with, that, you know, we're just happy and healthy and, you know, financially stable in life.
That's awesome. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Even when you have kids, you need to. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So that's really
absolutely.
good. Well, awesome. Well, I wish you luck. And
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. You're totally fine. I wish you luck in reaching your goals, and congratulations on your baby.
Yeah,
and thank you so much for doing this with me today.
Yeah, thank you
I
for
appreciate
interviewing
it.
me.
Of course.